We just had the 8th publicly confirmed letter of no confidence going into Sir Graham Brady from a Red Wall MP, Aaron Bell, who has not held back in his criticism of the Prime Minister in recent weeks.
Only 10 people at the funeral, many people who loved her had to watch online. I didn't hug my siblings, I didn't hug my parents. I gave a eulogy, and then afterwards I didn't even go to her house for a cup of tea. I drove back 3 hours from Kent to Staffordshire. Does the Prime Minister think I'm a fool?
While this one maybe isn't surprising, what it does show is that there is a steady stream of letters going in to Sir Graham Brady, which calls into question the Prime Minister's leadership. Now, this comes obviously at a very tumultuous time for the PM, who has just lost 5 of his closest advisors.
The government says it's all part of Boris Johnson's efforts to take charge and to fix the Downing Street machine, as promised in his apology over Partygate. Yet the most high-profile of those departures was in fact in protest against the PM's recent behaviour. Boris Johnson's former friend and political confidant of 10 years, Munira Mirza, who was chief of ideas, some called her Boris's brain, slammed the PM's comments linking Keir Starmer to Jimmy Savile earlier this week.
This leader of the opposition, a former Director of Public Prosecutions, Mr. Speaker, so he spent most of his time prosecuting journalists and failing to prosecute Jimmy Savile, as far as I can make out, Mr. Speaker.
Munira Mirza publicly stated the reason for her resignation when she wrote, "It was an inappropriate and partisan reference to a horrendous case of child sex abuse," adding, "Despite my urging, you did not apologise for the misleading impressions you gave." Boris Johnson clarified his claim, but did not apologise.
Let's be absolutely clear. I'm talking not about the leader of the opposition's personal record when he was DPP, and I totally understand that he had nothing to do personally with those decisions. I was making a point about his responsibility for the organisation as a whole, and I think people can see that. And I really do want to clarify that because it is important.
The 3 other aides who are stepping down have all been implicated in the controversy over number 10 Partygate. Director of Communications Jack Doyle has been under pressure after he allegedly attended a Downing Street party on the 18th of December. Martin Reynolds, the Prime Minister's principal private secretary, was the author of the notorious Bring Your Own Booze email sent to around 100 Downing Street staff. And Dan Rosenfield, Boris Johnson's chief of staff, was reported to have attended a Christmas party in December 2020. Additionally to those, it's been reported that Delina Narazansky, who had been a member of the policy unit, has also resigned. Adding to this chaos, number 11 went against Boris Johnson's Savile comment on Thursday.
With regard to the comments, being honest, I wouldn't have said it, and I'm glad that the Prime Minister clarified what he meant.
Boris Johnson has put on a brave face in reaction to top aide resignations. In a rallying cry to Downing Street staff on Friday,
I gave a sort of a rabble-rousing speech in which he said that, like Rafiki said in Lion King, change is good. He's been promising these changes for a while now. He said that he was going to really get a grip on the organisational structures in number 10, and that's what Tory MPs have been calling for. So what he's saying is that listen, this isn't a crisis for me. This is what I promised I was going to do. This is what Tory MPs have been calling for, and he's clearly backed that up in a letter to Tory MPs this afternoon, where he has said, I am listening to you. First of all, I've cleared out my top team, and second of all, I'm going to be listening to the views of Tory MPs a lot more. So one thing he's now exploring is creating backbench policy committees. So rather than Tory MPs just being told, this is what you're voting for, this is what the government are doing, they can actually have some say in policies which are being put forward in the House of Commons and ultimately say in the running of this country.